All right, guys, I'm back. So my video got cut off last night, so I'm gonna kind of re-go over some of the other zone concepts. But to finish off here, we're gonna go versus a different defense in different formation. So I forgot to say what I call when you have a Mike and linebacker over the center, and the other linebacker is kicked over to the strong side. I just call that a kick defense. The linebackers are kicked to the strength. The other defense you'll see is the linebackers are stacked, so we call it stacked. The linebackers are stacked over the tackles. So when I'm offensive coordinator, I'm looking to see how are they adjusting, because we have a major strength over here, right? We got 2 extra players on this side. So are they adjusting and kicking linebackers over, or are they staying stacked? So there's some plays that are better or worse against those two defenses. So versus this defense, got drawn up here. It's a red wing formation. They're all taking their zone steps. The major difference is this tight end. He doesn't have a linebacker over him, so he needs to look. If the linebacker is not over, he's going to block the next linebacker inside. So he's going to climb, and again, he's going to go where he's going to meet him. Okay. Our center is a little tougher, I think, because he's got 2 linebackers in the box that can't come to his place at A gap. So it's a little bit trickier for him to know. This guy might come over top. You might have to pick up this backside linebacker if we bend it back in. So it's a little trickier for him. I don't like this play as much versus this defense if we are getting a bend it back. Sometimes they will scheme where this guy comes out on purpose and these guys feel hard in the A gap. So if we're seeing that, there's some better plays, or just tell your kids to try to bounce it outside if possible. Again, quarterback path. 135 degrees, get it deep. Tailback's running his track to the midline on his 4-step. He makes an aggressive decision to blast it in the B gap, bend it back in the A gap, or bounce it outside. And then our X receiver always has the corner. When he's tight out here, I can have him take a lateral step and get width, and then climb and get that guy. Keys to the zone play. To reiterate, our quarterback and tailback, their first step has to be in the right place so we get a clean mesh. And for ball security, and that's something that kids definitely struggle with, and again, I like to use cones for drills for their first steps. The second thing is I like to have the quarterback have 2 hands on the ball, just for, again, ball security. You know, in the pros, you'll see this play with 1 hand of the quarterback, but here's a little kid. So show the ball 2 hands. Make sure the quarterback also have them hold the ball in the middle, not just the end of the ball. Get their hands in the middle part of the ball for ball security. Quarterback also wants you to have speed to the mesh in the boot to hold eyeballs. It's easier to hold eyeballs when there's speed on the mesh. Probably the biggest thing I think to make this play go is the center has to have that place at A gap. Early on in the season, sometimes the center just snaps the ball and they're literally just stand there and look around. He's got to step into the A gap, help with the double team. If no double team, he's got to climb to that second level. And that's what will spring us for a touchdown. If we get to bend it back, and he climbs, he gets a piece of that Mike, or in this situation, whatever linebacker shows up in your A gap, get a piece of him. And the last key is our perimeter blocking, our X and Y receivers, breaking down their feet, having good form, having discipline, holding those blocks for just really need a couple seconds to make that go. All right. Then we have our boot plays off of this. And what I do is, especially little kids, I only boot to the right. We're only going to run this play, 2 to 3 times a game. So I only do it to the right for right-handed quarterback. If you have left-handed quarterback, I do the left. It's really hard to run to the left, to throw on the run to the left. You got to just turn your trunk a little more and take some more skill. So I figured I'd even waste time practicing it. So what we would do, we have our red formation. This would be called zone left. So we're running zone to the weak side, which we never do, so that way we can boot back to our receivers on the strong side. So this would be called red zone left, boot, Mississippi. So we have 3 different versions of Mississippi, Florida, and Delaware are 3 versions of the boot. I'll have similar concepts. We're going to get a good mesh. Tailback has to get eyeballs and flow. Quarterback 2 with a good mesh. And then our quarterback needs to get depth. We're going to block this just like zone left. We're not going to really block it any differently. And then our quarterback, he wants to be, probably 4 to 5 yards deep. And then he's going to get depth and he wants to run downhill. And when I practice this, I'll put like bags here, cones, and make sure he's getting depth around here. First thing we're going to do is our quarterback, once he comes around, he's a peek at this defensive tackle. Sometimes what happens is this defensive tackle will bull rush or come outside, and what the quarterback needs to do, instead of just getting tackled, is cut it up underneath that. And that's something he did to practice. And he just runs, turns into a run play. If not, he continues on his path. The first thing he's going to look at is our corner. All right, we're going to have on Mississippi our X receiver running the clear, running the go route. Okay? And he's only going to throw this if it's wide open. If it's even close, you're going to hang on and continue on your path and look for the second receiver. I've only thrown this maybe once or twice in 2 years where that guy is actually wide open. All right, but it does happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to be early. All right? If he's covered, he bails, he continues on his path and starts to run downhill. And then our tight end, this is really for him, this is what I call a Mississippi route. He's going to come down and double team, and he's going to block 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. It's like a delayed flat route. All right? Hopefully that just looks like run, and then this linebacker thinks it's run, and then he releases fast, like he's shot out of a cannon. He's going to turn and look inside. He's running about 3 to 4 yards deep. All right? Not a real deep path. Okay? He's going to sprint, though. He can't jog. All right, so I'll set up cones for these guys. They have a target, and they're sprinting. All right, then our quarterback, if he's usually wide open, this is a really easy pass. And with that delay, he's not going to overrun it and make it a harder pass. All right, if he does get covered by this linebacker, all right, then the quarterback can run. So this is a great play for like goal line, short yardage. We kind of spring this pass play on him. Also, it's a great play for getting a kid who maybe plays guard who doesn't get a lot of passes. And usually if he does this right, he's wide open, so you can use it as a special play for certain kids. The next version is what I call Florida. This would be out of our red wing formation. Everything's the same, except now our Y receiver is going to run a flag route, corner route, so Florida's for the flag, and these tags are for the Y receiver, which most of the time we'll try to get the ball to. Our X receiver, who's stacked behind him, is going to run about a 4-yard whip route. Okay? So we have the same read. We have a deep ball, we have a short ball, and the flat where the quarterback can run. Okay? Same thing, you're looking for the corner first, so look for the deep ball first. If he's wide open right away, take it. If he's bails, stay on your path. Again, we want to be running downhill. What we don't want to do is have the quarterback run to the sideline, right? And that's not great. It's harder to throw it here. So we want him to run downhill, and after he throws the ball, I want him, one of my keys for this is to follow the ball with your feet. After you throw the ball, you keep running with your feet to your target. You always run through your pass. Last one is Delaware. This is a little different formation. This would be blue, what I call blue pro. All right, blue pro, or we could run it out of blue slot. All right, where the X is opposite. So O and pro, or the O and slot means that he's opposite. Pro just means he's out wide. It would be zone left, boot. Delaware, our X would run a clear. If he's here in a slot, he'd run a flag. He could really run it either way. And then our tight end is running a drag. So Delaware's for drag. The deepest I want him is probably 6 to 7 yards, so we can put cones when we practice this thing. I don't want him to run too deep into that flag or to that go route. Again, this is, if he's open early, throw it. If not, stay under track. A lot of times we'll see kids, right, these linebackers jump on the zone fake, or they'll see the quarterback boot and they'll run up to tackle him, and that'll leave that drag wide open. Sometimes it's a tight window because the free safety's well coached and he's over top of it. We've had a couple good passes on these last couple years. It's a nice mix-up to get that kid the ball. All right, so that's our zone series. Real basic football. It's all about execution and being tough and making good decisions.